Hi there, this is Travis for ComicsVerse here at New York Comic Con Special Edition 2015 with writer Josh Dahl, the author of Rapid City, both Below Zero and Objects at Rest, an incredible comic that takes a look at things in a rather different environment from what we might be used to. Especially Below Zero, there's a lot more of a focus on villains than heroes. Could you tell us a little bit about the creative process behind developing the Rapid City stories?
Briefly, I started Rapid City as a script writing project where I gave myself the deadline of writing a script every month. So in Objects at Rest, I started telling the story of Kinetic, a superhero. After 24 consecutive script issues of that, the world of Rapid City had gotten too violent for the character Kinetic. To become a superhero accepts the premise that violence solves problems. Willingly bringing violence into your life causes problems. So at that point, the story ended itself, and I had to choose how to go on. In the same issue where the violence got too intense for Kinetic, some villains came onto the scene. They're the ones causing the violence, and I sort of jumped tracks and started telling their story. And that's where Below Zero comes from. I followed the course of two young lovers who are supervillains, and one of them gets murdered and the other needs to respond to that.
Yeah, and with Rapid City Below Zero, you've created with these villains some very sympathetic characters that, as you go on through the issues, you come to see where they are coming from, and in a way, they are almost the heroes at a certain point.
I'm glad you feel that way. I hope you continue to feel that way after you see what they do.
Well, I was telling you earlier that there's a certain scene in the lake where your main character, Icicle, has a sort of an emotional breakdown that's extremely well written. Could you tell me what are some of the challenges to writing villains and trying to make them into sympathetic characters?
Actually, in my day job, I'm a teacher. I work at a school for adjudicated youths, which means anywhere in the court system. So a lot of them have criminal pasts. So mathematically, most of the people I know and interact with are criminals. But I also see them as kids. So I'm naturally very sympathetic to the life decisions and circumstances that put you in a position where you just don't know any better than to be violent.
Yeah, they say that nobody sees themselves as the villain. Everyone has their own reasons and justifications for their actions. So how much of the experiences that you've had as a teacher in this location have made it onto the page?
A lot. All the characters are real. They're not... Everything that happens in my comics is stuff that has actually happened to me. I just retell it in the form of a comic. Below Zero is the most non-true comic I've written thus far, but all the emotional beats are all real stuff. Either real stuff I've seen people close to me going through or that I've gone through, and my language is superheroes and supervillains. So when I want to write about that stuff, that's just how it comes out.
So if there is one takeaway that you would like your students to perhaps get from Rapid City Below Zero or your other work as well, what would you say would be kind of the message that you would want to get out there?
For my students, I would want, if I could, want them to see that even very bad feelings that some people might be feeling can be channeled into something at least creative, if not fully positive. More positive than hurting people.
Right. Sure. How about for like the general public?
Hopefully, really, that it's just a fun, thrilling comic to read.
Well, it definitely is that. And like I said, you've created some very sympathetic characters that are very easy to connect to. And that alone, I think, is something that will carry readers on through the series.
I hope so. I like them.
Yeah, I do too. When's the next issue coming out?
We are working hard to get issue 3 out for the Boston Comic Con, which is August 31st through July 31st through August 2nd.
All right, well, we'll look forward to seeing it then, hopefully.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. It was great talking to you, Josh.
I got you.
Thanks a lot. Again, this is Travis here with Josh Dahl at Comic Con 2015 Special Edition for ComicsVerse. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.